So before we decided to found an insurance company with all the hassle around it, go to that into a bit later, we wanted to found an MGA. So we wanted to focus on pet insurance, digital pet insurance, and we wanted then later to focus on English insurance products for international people in Berlin. However, we had very good and polite discussions with board members of all the big insurance, or nearly all the big insurance companies in Germany. And everyone pretty much told us, sure, we can do an MGA together. It just will take 3 or 4 years and without modern IT interfaces. So in our startup naive perspective, we then decided, okay, let's found an insurance company, and that's ELEMENT. Before we started to found the company, to get the license and so on, we worked on the concept for about a year, squeezed many PowerPoint slides, created the BaFin application, and man, I can tell you, going through a 90-page application document, that's a painful thing to do. However, we as the first carrier or neo carrier in Germany were able to get the license. We founded the stock company, I think 1st of April 2017, with a very small team back in the day. I think we was like 5 or 6 people back then, maybe 7. We quickly ramped up to about like a 30. However, that was different times than comparing it to now. We were doing stand-ups like 2 or 3 times per week. Initially, everyone was fitting into a small room, so we could order food for everyone. That was quite funny. Of course, everyone knew what everyone else was doing. And then later on, when we were like 20, we started to just stand in the office with a ball and throw the ball at each other. And then the one catching the ball would be the one to present what he or she is doing. Next in the stand-up, and there was funny times. But of course, when we grew, you cannot do a ball throwing around with 150 people as a stand-up. That somehow doesn't scale anymore, that concept. I think when thinking back, one remarkable moment, and that also shows our agile approach a bit, was the first policy. We sold one policy to an employee, Inna. She's now with Deutsche Bank and she belongs also to the founding team of ELEMENT, of course. So we sold her first policy. However, afterwards we discovered there's some kind of bug in the core system. So we had to erase or delete the whole core system and reinstall it. And then, of course, we had to reinstate her old policy, which was by now deleted because we deleted the core system. Having said that, with our first policy, we already had the first MTA, and we had to learn how to reinstate a policy which was deleted. So that was a funny learning when we had our first policy. Yeah, it was combined with the first fail, I would guess. Onboarding a partner is something completely new, and you can take a look from various perspectives. It's a legal question, what kind of insurance agent or insurance partner are you working with? It's a technical question, what kind of requirements does a partner have? And that then became later a bigger question, who does what in a cooperation? As we as ELEMENT are quite open to cooperations. Of course, cooperations nowadays mean that someone might be very good at doing one thing and the other one is good at doing the other. So it's about finding the right mix, and that makes it very complicated. One thing we learned quite early as a company is that we need a special department which is combining external interests and internal capabilities. So we set up a partner onboarding department. Teams come together, teams discuss problems in a small environment and then come back with a solution. And now, and then when it comes to scaling ELEMENT now, I think after having onboarded like 50 to 60 or even more partners by now, we have learned a lot. We know what really matters. And so now, based on these learnings, we set our standard, we set focus categories, and we know what works well and how to get it up and running very quickly. But what we see now is that actually on that B2B2B level, retailers, partners, they are now more and more changing insurance products. They are open for new solutions, for better solutions, for more technical solutions, or just for more interesting solutions. And we now see huge demand in that area, and growing numbers, of course, as well. ELEMENT is in the right spot and we're in a perfect place to scale.